When it was officially established in 1822, Clay County was on the westernmost edge of the American frontier. After a petition asking for military protection for the pioneers in this area was presented to Congress, approval was given to construct a federal arsenal here in Clay County. A site on the bluffs overlooking the Missouri River, 4 miles south of Liberty, was selected. Construction was completed and the arsenal was placed in service by 1839. Officially named the Missouri Depot, the facility was more commonly known as the Liberty Arsenal. The facility was constructed using native limestone and bricks that were fired on site. The complex was comprised of at least 7 major buildings, including a powder house, an armory, and barracks. Military supplies that arrived by steamboat at the river landing were carried up the steep road by teams of oxen. Initially, the arsenal was staffed with up to 100 soldiers. After only a few years, as the need for protection in the area diminished, staffing was reduced to a minimal crew of 5 or 6. In December of 1855, the arsenal was raided by Missouri forces and materials were removed for use in the Kansas-Missouri border war over the issue of slavery. Nearly all the supplies taken during the raid were returned to the arsenal a few weeks later. On April 20th, 1861, just 8 days after the beginning of the Civil War, a group of approximately 200 men, led by Southern military leader Colonel Henry Rout, raided the arsenal for a second time. All materials from the arsenal, including cannons, rifles, sabers, and gunpowder, were removed and distributed to Southern forces for use throughout the war. In 1869, the arsenal was decommissioned and sold at auction. In subsequent years, the arsenal property was actively used for farming. In the 1880s, many of the arsenal buildings were demolished. The bricks were used in construction of homes and buildings throughout the area. Today, only scant remnants of the arsenal's stone foundations remain to provide evidence of the historic Liberty Arsenal. Chris and Neil have uncovered the northeast corner of the officers' quarters. Look in the background behind Chris, you'll see the visible wall, and where it stops is where we believe and this wall is lined up perfectly with it. That would be the east wall of the officers' quarters from the looking downrange. I'm looking south now, and now we're looking to the west, and there's a well-defined corner. It goes down really well, and there's another spot over here they excavated, and it's well defined. It looks like about an 18-inch wall, which is what we're finding. And then on downrange is I think an area that Brian excavated earlier. It seems to be in line. Chris Harris, why don't you describe what you and Neil found here?
Found some herringbone pattern of the bricks outside the wall of the officers' quarters.
Which almost has to make a
patio
entrance.
Yeah, an entrance or a patio. We just don't know how far back it goes. Yeah.
Well, you figure there were probably a front porch up off the ground. These steps that probably came down to this walkway.
From this corner of the officers' quarters, there was a brick on the outside of the sidewalk, which I'm walking down now. It kind of forms a border of the sidewalk. And then all along that brick that's laid north and south are at least 2 courses of brick that's laid east and west, adjacent and on the east side of the sidewalk. What we're seeing is this herringbone pattern. It goes out to 14-15 feet. If it goes further, it looks like it goes on towards the north. But you've got the herringbone pattern for a width of it's like 4 feet, and then one set of bricks that runs north and south, and 2 sets of bricks next to that go east and west. You know, what needs to be determined is whether there's any more sidewalk that goes off to the east, and how far does this sidewalk continue to the north. The kitchen would be a few feet north of where we're standing right now. complex was the powder house. This was covered up several years ago with a foot or so of gravel. And the gravel's been, some of it's been removed recently so that we can excavate. We were able to excavate the powder house, the four corners of the powder house today. First thing to note is that it appears that the alignment is to true north. And it's the only thing that we found in the buildings, or in the complex so far, that is aligned. The outside walls are not, but it appears that these walls are aligned north and south. So I'm looking to the west now, and we measured 27 feet across. You probably see the stake at the far corner. Now I'm going to turn and look south, and the same dimension here, 27 by 27, and that's a surprise because the sale bill and all the other documentation said this building was 18 by 25, but we found it to be 27 by 27 square.